what everyone can learn from one woman's year of living spiritually.
And welcome back. People who consider themselves spiritual but not religious is the fastest growing faith group in North America.
And one such person is author Bokma, who embarked on a 12-month journey to find connection amidst the chaos, trying everything as she could, from singing to actually magic mushrooms, and nothing was off the table or too out of the box. And she chronicles it all in her brand new book, My Year of Living Spiritually. And Anne joins us now. Anne, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for coming in. And you talk in the book about growing up in what you call a fundamentalist family as part of the Dutch Reformed Church. What kind of impact did that have on you early on?
Yeah, I did grow up in a very fundamentalist family, a loving family, but when I went to leave the church when I was 20, it was a very difficult separation. The church threatened to excommunicate me, and my family felt I was going to hell. It was a very difficult time in my life, leaving that kind of religion, and yet it set me on a journey to find some kind of different sort of way to express spirituality. I grew up in a home where we read the Bible, I went to Christian school. It was all about living quite an insular life, keep me, away from ideas like evolution and dancing and Canadian boys and stuff like that. It did set me on a different kind of path.
Let's talk about this path and this journey. You tried 24 different activities throughout this journey. And how did you choose which ones you were going to try?
I was a columnist for the United Church Observer, now named Broadview Magazine, and I wrote about 4 years worth of columns, 50 columns, called Spiritual But Secular, in which I examined the spiritual practices of this group known as Spiritual But Not Religious. So I reported on it for 4 years, and then I thought, I want to engage in these practices myself and really delve into it. So I wrote a blog for a year, and then the blog turned into a book. So I picked things that were very doable, things I could do in my own backyard.
Well, we're looking at a picture of you with a goat, so I'm assuming this was the goat yoga.
Goat yoga, lots of fun.
Yeah, let's talk about a few of these activities, because I tried goat yoga. We had it on the show here back in September, and I'm not sure I'd say it was a religious experience. It was a smelly one. Yoga
and meditation are probably the top two practices of people who consider themselves spiritual but not religious. So I felt I should, immerse myself in them. I did all kinds of different yoga, aerial yoga, yoga at the edge of Niagara Falls. Yeah, not quite spiritual, but I really felt connected to those baby goats. It was very sweet.
All right, fair enough.
But it wasn't one of my more profound spiritual experiences.
What is forest bathing?
Forest bathing is, there's actually forest bathing practitioner guides in Canada now. They're certified to take you out into the woods, often in a small group setting, on a very slow, intentional walk. And it's all about immersing yourself in nature. Trees give off chemicals that can really uplift our spirits. And there's studies that show that this can help people with depression and anxiety, those kinds of things. There is, we all know that the church is in the woods, I think. So this is a very slow, intentional walk in which you really are present in the moment, take in the sounds, the smells, hug a tree, I talk to a tree, and really kind of immerse yourself in that natural experience.
Did the tree answer back?
It did. I did have a conversation. I know it sounds odd.
You also read tarot cards. You also tried chemical enlightenment, thanks to magic mushrooms. What did you find was the most powerful, profound experience?
Well, there were quite a few. I've been a journalist for 30 years, and I went into this with a kind of reporter skepticism, but also a seeker's enthusiasm. And so many of the experiences had a more profound effect than I anticipated. Some were individual, like doing a gratitude practice or floating in a flotation tank. Some were communal, being part of singing circles, or I went to a witch camp. The magic mushrooms were a highlight, I have to say. I'd never done them in my life. I'm 56. I did them under medical supervision. It was a 5-hour trip. If I believed in God, I would have seen him. It was quite beautiful, and answers actually came to me. So it was quite profound. Doing the gratitude practice every day also sort of changed my outlook on things. It's so easy to look for the negative in life, but this forced me to look at all the things that are working. Singing in groups was beautiful. I participated in a threshold choir with people at the end of life. That was extremely moving to sing to them as they, pass from this world. Okay. So there were quite a few things like that.
Just in our remaining minute, I wanted to ask you, we mentioned off the top that this is the fastest growing group out there. Those that find or see themselves as spiritual but not necessarily religious. So what would your advice be to them?
Well, yeah, spiritual but not religious is the fastest growing. So many people are leaving traditional religion and they're exploring spirituality. There is this whole loss of soul in our culture, I think, that we see. And it's fine to tend to our spiritual side. Sometimes spirituality makes people uncomfortable, but we are more than our exterior. We have a deep, inner sanctuary of our being, and how can we tend to that? And that's what I tried to do in my book, is look at some of the ways that we can engage in practices from singing to gratitude to solitude to simplicity, so that we can have a richer interior life.
Well, you can read all about Anne's journey in her new book, My Year of Living Spiritually, which is available now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break here on The Morning Show.